Well, the proper way to do this, or the way that we would get our intended behavior, and Wick actually does bring up something important.
Also,
Um,
after you mention that, don't get too far away from display yet until you answer the question over in the questions panel.
which one? What if person had no display?
Yeah.
Well, if person had no display method, but employee did, we'll get a nice little compiler error here on line 43, because this variable, this object, is typed to person, so it must have a display member, or it has to have one if we are to invoke it.
Person, because it's inside that loop, it's a person, not an employee. It's a person, and a person doesn't have a display method in that situation, so it can't. Because it doesn't know. This is the thing. There could be something else, management that isn't an employee but is a person. That it has no way of telling then whether it's an employee or a person, and thus knowing that it should be looking for a method. As far as it's concerned, it's a person, and person doesn't have a display method.
Well, see, here's the thing about, I just got a question. What happens if you instead use the employee's display? Here's the thing. This is a situation that I came up with to demonstrate why polymorphism is important, because this is a very common situation where you will have a list of a interface or a list of a base class, and you want people to be able to add items to that list that are custom classes that inherit or implement from the base. So this is a very common scenario. Well, you will have a list of things, but you won't necessarily know what type those things are. So we need this list of persons in order to be able to add both person and employee to this list. But because this list is of type person, when I loop over it, I can only use the person type here as my iterator, as my item variable. And because I can only use the person type as my item variable, I can only invoke the person display method. I cannot invoke the employee display person, or I cannot invoke the employee display method.